So we will understand why this MEN and what will be the takeaways and how different is this from a typical MEN. Because we have been saying that this will be an unconventional, which means it's quite different from a typical conventional MEN that we come across generally. Okay. The purpose of this is to learn something out of this. This is specifically organized for school students so that they understand these topics which are normally not in the public domain. People, so far, these topics were discussed in the scientific communities or in government circles and things like that. But then we felt that they should also be understood, discussed, and understood and known by this generation, so that when they grow up to become adults and be in the middle of their lifespan, they should be aware of these things, and if they can do something about it now, they should better do it, so that they'll have less severity or less suffering when they grow up. Okay, so this is all about, I think, the whole climate crisis that we are facing today. So come here with an open mind that you will learn something, you will listen to others. It's not just arguing and gaining or scoring points here over your colleagues. It is to listen to each other ideas and then learn something good. Okay, and then when you learn something, explore them further. Okay, take them as the keywords and then see if you can explore it further, whether it is books or meetings or your parents or somebody who can help you understand more, or even internet sources, right? So wherever there is a possibility to explore these topics further, that's the main intention of all the delegates here or all the topics here. Okay, so once you explore, try and understand at least something out of it. A few things are real technical challenge. I mean, you may not be able to comprehend everything. For that, you need to grow bigger, grow older, and then get into your college and university education so that you can understand this better. But at this point of time, there are few things which you can still understand at your age, and whatever you can comprehend, digest, please understand them at this age, which will help you, which will be really helpful when you grow up. Okay, so that's the point. That's the first point. The second one is when you actually end up in the session, when you come to the session, ensure that you are discussing it fairly, and more than arguing, it is ideating. Okay, so you have to come up with some solutions, and we expect you to come out with the out-of-box solutions, because this generation has that capability of thinking differently and thinking better than the previous generations. So come out with your ideas, okay, out-of-box solutions, collaborate. And it's not just one person's idea, right, versus the other. It has to be a collaborative approach, which means that you collate, you gather all the good ideas and then put them together. Okay, so this is a team activity. This is a community activity. This is a world as a whole activity. Okay, and then once you collaborate and arrive at some solutions, ensure that you have a resolution out of that, which means that not just a piece of paper that you are passing a resolution, it is also that you resolve that you will implement them in your life in whichever capacity, as an individual, as a family member, as a community member, as a colleague in a company, okay, or as a citizen in a city. And it's something that you need to. Who is doing this arrows here? Stop meddling with the screen. Whoever is doing it. Sorry. Okay. So then once we finish this understanding, learning, then we also try and implement them, as I said. Okay. So this is the basic purpose. The purpose is not to learn the nuances of UN General Assembly. No, that's your typical nuance that will teach you. Here, we are not learning how a General Assembly will, or how United Nations will work or function. It is how we can bring some solutions or some what you call ideas to the table, and then contribute to the solution of the problem. You should not be part of the problem. You should be part of the solution. That's the intention. Okay. Then when we move to the next. I'm not going on presentation mode because I have to see the attendees also. Some people are still joining, so I have to admit them. Okay. Maybe after a while I'll go on, or let me try. Okay, so the entire conference or the proceedings are aligned with one single theme. This is the singular topic of the focus of the whole conference: climate action. Though it is sounding little serious and complicated, but we want the current generation, as I said, to be involved in arriving at some kind of solutions at their own level of understanding. Okay, so having said this, okay, so now you know the theme is climate action, but within climate action we have found two different streams, though these are more or less interconnected, okay, are related to each other. But we thought there can be some focused discussions on these topics so that we arrive at some real practical solutions, okay, at the end of the discussions. So the first stream is climate action stream, or climate crisis or climate change theme stream, and the other one is biodiversity, biodiversity conservation, biodiversity laws, biodiversity protection, whatever you call it. Okay, so these are the two topics that you have decided. Now, most of the committees fall in one or the other one, right? And these are the countries that we are currently listing out for representation. So most of you will be, or all of you will be representing one or the other of these countries in the council, especially, okay, where you are now representing this group. There are two delegates for each of the countries. Okay, so which means that Argentina will have two delegates, Australia will have two delegates, and you know in the tabular form that you have received in your mail, you have, you know, your colleague, whoever is participating along with you on the same.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so like you said about the double delegation, so like what will be the scenario in case like one delegate is not present in the committee from like each representation?
Okay, so I told you to wait for the questions, okay? Don't ask me questions now. Write down in a piece of paper or remember them. And at the middle, I mean, as we go halfway through, I'll give you some time, 10 minutes for questions. You can please ask the questions, okay? Please park your questions. Until I tell you, don't unmute yourself. I think you follow what I say in the beginning, right? You're all intelligent students. Anyway, so okay, so these are the countries. You may have a question, why 18 countries only? So these are the countries who have personally or physically attended this COP26 conference recently. This is the Conference of Parties 26 number sequence that happened in Glasgow in UK recently. That was all over the news last month, and you must have also observed that, noticed it. So these are the countries which participated. So we gave preference to that, and we don't want to have too many countries also, so it will become too large a crowd, and then you'll not be able to have any quality discussions. So these are the countries that were shortlisted from out of that COP26 attendance, and you will be representing one or the other countries. So I'll answer the questions when you don't have a delegate for a particular country. We'll come to that. Okay, that's not a big thing. Okay, and again, I keep telling you, and people also keep raising the same question. This is not a typical MEN. We're just calling it MEN so that because the terminology is like that, because we are actually collating the views and opinions and points of so many countries at an international level. So there's no other better forum than a United Nations. So this is some kind of representative United Nations discussions. Okay, so these are the countries that you represent, most of you, and this is how the hierarchy is, the structure. There are 18 committees to start with, There are 12 committees from the climate action topic, and there are 6 committees for biodiversity.
Sir, actually, I am actually doing for my phone because my laptop's audio is not working. So I'm trying to connect from my laptop, but the email ID I have put is, I think, different. So, sir, can you just please enter it?
You are in the waiting lobby?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Don't worry. We'll be entered. You are not inside because you are able to speak to me, right?
Yeah, because my laptop's audio is not.
Yeah, so don't worry. It's okay. It's okay. You get in, and if there is technically I'm able to allow you, I'll allow you. Okay. Don't worry. You'll be allowed. So there are 18 committees, as I said, for 2 different streams, and then there are councils. Okay. So these councils are also aligned with the same topics. Climate council on these climate topics and biodiversity council on biodiversity topics. It's only that they have to comprehend all the topics together. Okay, there is a tougher job in the council because in the committee you have different committee topics, so you can understand and explore and work on those topics. Whereas in the councils, you have to actually understand more. I mean, all the topics. So since now this group belongs to the councils, you have a bigger job on your plate, right? You have to actually understand all the 18 committees, if not very much in detail, but at least at some broad level. You should understand what those climate committees are talking about and what is their problem issue and then what are their aspects, okay? Similarly, biodiversity. And then once you have some your job done, it moves on to the General Assembly, which is just one, okay? And as I said, in committees, there are just 18 what you call delegates in each of those committees at this point of time. As we keep adding, we'll let you know. But as in councils, there are 36, which means that each country is represented twice. So there are 2 delegates for each country. So that you can discuss and consult each other. And similarly, in General Assembly, there are 36 delegates, 2 delegates per country. Okay, and we'll move to the next slide, which is a little more detail. So these are made in a particular format. Okay, the committees, of course, as I said, there are 18 delegates, and there is a chair and a vice chair. And councils will have, there is a typo there, 36 delegates. Let's check that. And I mean 2 delegates for each country, as I said, and there's 1 chair and 1 vice chair. Okay, which we just had concluded one session with them. And in the General Assembly, there is a president and a vice president, and there are 36 delegates, as I said. Okay, so this is how the program is panning out. The activity for the committees are happening on day 2, whereas you are from the councils, your activities or your sessions will start on day 3, which is 23rd of December, right? And from morning 10 to 1 o'clock. So it is just a half-day discussion that will happen at the council. So the previous day, there is a full day discussion happening, and they make a resolution out of it. They discuss and make a paper and share that document with you on the previous evening, and you will discuss that on the next day morning if there are any amendments or changes to be made. But then you will have and then you will have them the previous evening. You might have some discussions on that, and see if there are any amendments, you make them and then vote them. So you have to vote for the resolution that you receive from the respective committees. Okay, so the majority ones will move to the General Assembly, and they will take a call on that. Okay, so your job is to understand what was the resolution from each of these committees. Is everything fine? Is anything unreasonable, irrelevant, or something, or they're not in the way you were expecting from your country point of view? So you can make those observations, discuss in the council, and then you don't have to agree unanimously on this. You can vote. I mean, if you are not agreeing to, I mean, this voting will happen on class by class basis. Okay, each line item will be voting, and you can vote yes or no. We think this will happen on the June meeting room, breakout room. We hope we can have some voting feature on that. But even if that is not properly being enabled, but you can still have voting, I mean, raising your hand or putting yes or no in the chat box, because it's just a small group. Okay. And then once you vote on each resolution, so you have a lot of work. You have to go through those 18 resolutions quickly if you are from the Climate Council. If you are in the Biodiversity Council, the job is simpler. It is 1/3 of it. 6 resolutions will come to you. You go through them, see if there are any objectionable points, and then you give your concurrence or consent or approval point by point, clause by clause. Clear? And then you send it to the General Assembly, which will meet in the afternoon, and then they will ratify. They'll discuss. They will not make any changes. They'll discuss whether they agree or not agree. That is called ratification. So as a country, they will choose to ratify that. Okay. And then after a couple of slides, I'll give you opportunity to raise questions. Okay, listen to me. So the job in the committees is to discuss the topic, give their country's point of view, give their opinion, their observations, their ideas, their solutions, and then say that, okay, we want to do X, Y, Z. For example, you are from climate funding, finance. You can say that we expect the developed countries to give X billion dollars to the developing countries in the next, say, 2 years or 5 years. That may not be acceptable to France, for example. They'll say, okay, don't say in the 5 years, say 10 years. So there is negotiation. There is also trade-off. So you can some give, some take. Okay, so this give and take negotiations will happen, and then by end of those 3 years, 3 hours, you should be able to have prepare one resolution and agree on that. Okay, so you have to agree on that clause by clause. Okay, by a majority vote, and then pass it on to that by lunchtime. You pass it on to the General Assembly, which will take a call on that in the afternoon. Okay, that's as simple as that. But the process is this, which I explained to you, of course. First, represent your country, which means that you will not refer to the foreign policy of your country, which you are representing. You will refer to the climate policy, or if there is a specific one, or a generic environmental policy of your country. So refer to that environmental policy, and in line with that, more or less, you don't have to be 100% in line with your country's environmental policy or a general policy. You can make little amendments as far as they are positive in nature. If they contribute to the resolution of or solutions of this problem globally, then you can bring them in. For example, some country says we will not grow forests because we don't have place, but probably you don't have to take that call. You can say that, okay, we will clear some unnecessary other things, and then we will have trees planted in our own backyards. I'm just giving an example. Okay, so as a country, you can take slightly different view from your stated country's policies, as long as they're positive and they're helping the whole problem. Okay, and then present your views and propose solutions. That's more important. Okay, we're not worried about what is the current situation. We are worried about what will be the future situation. To avoid future consequences or disastrous consequences, we should be working out some solutions which probably might help your generation to go about your life in those times. Okay, so 15-20 years from now, when you will be grown up adults and then you will be in the middle of your career and lifespans, you should not be facing the problems that are being projected now. Probably you should find some solutions at this point of time. Okay, and then you have to negotiate, you have to discuss some trade-off and maybe bargain and all that. At the end of it, you make an acceptable solution. I mean, you are not making a resolution in these councils. The resolution is made in the committee, but you will make some kind of acceptable changes, maybe amendments. You should have some kind of what you call relevant and acceptable amendment. Of course, there will be vote, amendment by amendment, and then that's what you should come to. This amendment should improve the quality of the document, improve the solutions, or add a better solution to it, and not come in the way of it. It should not be roadblocks, but it should be enablers, okay, as a council. So council the presidents and vice presidents and chairs will do this. Their job is to maintain order. They'll ensure that you talk or speak in your order, okay? And when your turn comes, and you don't cross talk to each other, and you will not be unmute and make a lot of background noises. You will not interfere others while speaking. Those kinds of little basic order is what the chairs and co-chairs will maintain. They'll also let you know the general. There are not too many rules and regulations. The general guidelines, which I'll be sharing with them. They will let you know these are the things that you should do X, Y, Z, and conduct yourself. So that the idea is to have some discipline so that we will conclude the proceedings in the time that is allocated. 3 hours is actually less time, right? In a typical one, you get 2 days of time. So here, time is also in essence. We should be as crisp and to the point as possible. And everybody will get a fair chance. These chairs and vice chairs will ensure that you all get fair chance to represent your country and speak out your views or opinions. And if there's any such thing, you can actually bring it to the notice of the chair saying that I want being given equal time. So you'll all be given equal opportunity to represent your thoughts. Okay. Then whatever is being done, the chairs and co-chairs will also document them. Document in the sense it doesn't have to be a physical document, written document. It's all recorded. And of course, there is an electronic version of these resolutions. Okay. So we ensure that points are taken care of. Okay. They are not lost in the arguments. And then these are the topics. And at the council level, at the Climate Council will have these 12 topics. As Climate Biodiversity Council will have 6 topics, right? So if you are in the Climate Council, you'll get 12 resolutions on each of those topics. So for you, you should have a fair understanding of each of these topics, okay? So to understand on what basis these resolutions or these clauses are being included, why are they saying such and such thing about say, climate justice, what is wrong with it? So every topic you should have fair understanding. You may not have too deep an understanding, but some fair understanding of each of these topics will help, okay? On biodiversity also. And then these are the topics that the committees will be discussing. These 12 topics, as I said, policy making. So we'll find some good relevant policies. The committees will make some observations on the policy front and then see that we can recommend some good or practical or effective policies to the government. Okay, assuming that you will pass it on to the government. Okay, and there is a context for each of these topics, what these councils are, these committees are supposed to do, and what should be the outcome. So the outcome, obviously, as I said, will be a resolution which will come to you as a social council to again review them and then vote them, okay, in favor of them. Similarly, energy transition, this is basically transitioning from the fossil fuels, which is petrol, diesel and those things, and even some natural gases. Those are all fossil fuels. Some of them may be clean, but they're all limited, finite, and so they are non-renewables. So moving from non-renewable sources of energy to renewable sources of energy, which you know, solar, wind, geothermal, etc. And there are also some financial funding requirements of each of these countries. Some of the countries need some financial assistance so that they can address these climate issues, because these problems are not made because of them. It is made because of the global community. So only some countries are at the receiving end. So obviously, fairly, they should need some funding to address them. So these committees will tell you some solutions on how to address that. Similarly, we know there is climate crisis. Some of it can be avoided. Some of it cannot be entirely avoided. So you need to be prepared for adapting to that new situation. So for example, if rains become frequent in future, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, then you should be carrying an umbrella every day, which is adopting, or you should be doing some precautionary things on almost all days. So this is just an example. So based on how is the climate situation evolving, we should be able to, should be prepared to adapt to those new situations. And then some of them, we can find a mitigation, we can find a situation, we can find a solution or resolution. Okay. And then we have agriculture and food, which is also a major consequence of climate crisis, because of the shifting climate patterns or weather patterns, the agricultural output is getting affected, and the extreme weather, extreme heat, extreme cold are also affecting the crop productivity. And so the food security is also becoming scarce, threatened. So these committees will find out how to address that. And city sub-communities, of course, as a city, as a community, what are the things that being affected? Mainly in cities, the utilities are getting affected because of these extreme weather events. Your power is off and your water supplies are disrupted. So many other transportation services are disrupted. So, and waste management becomes a problem because of the consumption levels. So there are solutions that, there are problems at a city scale, which these committees will see if there can be some solutions and pass it on to you. So you can make your review and then adopt them. Okay. Similarly, clean transportation is, all these electrical vehicles, whether they are personal vehicles or public vehicles or commercial vehicles, there is a need to shift or move to the clean transportation mode. So that's something they'll discuss. Health emergency, especially in the recent context of COVID-19, scientists still feel that there is a correlation between what is climate change doing and how this COVID-19 has developed, or any other pandemic or health or diseases evolve because of the changes in the climatic situation. So that is very much possible scientifically also. And as I said, some countries are at the receiving end, and some communities, some races are also at the receiving end. They are not getting enough tools or resources to actually address these climate issues. So there is a need for climate justice. Similarly, since like we have the calorific values and nutritional values printed on our packet of chips or whatever packed products, similarly, we are expecting manufacturers to put the environmental impact of those products that they are making on their product labeling, on the packaging, saying that this product has used so many liters of water, so many kilowatts of energy, so many tons of kgs of waste, kind of a thing. Water and sanitation are another major issues that are affecting the people because of the climate change. So how to improve the water scarcity? There are areas which are water stressed because of the climate changes, okay, climate impact. Similarly, people not getting sanitation facilities in some countries. Again, as I said, this is also related to the social justice and equalities. Then most of the climate solutions are related to technology in one way or the other, because the solutions are also modern. Problems are also contemporary. So some kind of technology support from the developed nations to the developing countries could actually help this. And now on Biodiversity Council, similarly, there is a policy issue. Governments should be working on policies. Not just governments, even organizations can have their own biodiversity protection policies. Similarly, wildlife conservation, this is a major thing that's happening. Extinction of a lot of species because they are not protected species. So how do we conserve wildlife in our forest or in our oceans? How do we actually enhance their presence or volumes? Because they also have an equal right to live on this planet. This is not just for human beings. Similarly, similar to climate finance, there is also a need for biodiversity finance. How do we manage that? Biodiversity technology, again, similar to climate technology, there are technology solutions that can help us look at solutions for biodiversity issues, okay, like tagging, for example, geo-tagging animals, geo-tagging trees, okay. So there are ways of doing this. And then agriculture and biodiversity, in fact, these are correlated. Even without climate crisis, they actually are interdependent, okay. They have a symbiotic relationship. So agriculture needs a lot of biodiversity, the animal interface and vice versa. So, and since this is getting affected, we are also looking at issues on this front, okay. And then of course, biodiversity, media and advocacy. So media plays a very important role because it is awareness among people that is most important at this point of time. So media and advocacy committee will actually find out some guidelines on how to improve awareness or promote these concepts that will provide solutions to the crisis, okay, or the problems on hand. So that's the committees and things. Now we come to the takeaways. After this slide, I will ask you for questions, okay? So takeaways are only two things. One is, why are we attending this conference. This is only for a singular purpose of climate learning. Okay, so learning about things which normally we would not have learned. Of course, most of you are familiar with these topics. You might have explored them to an extent, but then getting a little more exposure or understanding will be really helpful. And then the focus is on those particular issues. The focus is on solutions. The focus is on finding a reasonable, acceptable resolution. The focus is on arriving at a commonly agreeable solutions or out-of-box ideas. Okay, so that's the focus. It's not gaining some scores and then performing better than your colleague. It's a collaborative action that is looked at. Okay, so that's it from me for now. So if there are any questions, you one by one unmute or raise your hand. I'll unmute and we can have the question. Okay, I'm not hearing anybody.
Your hands are raised.
Hands are raised. Okay, let me come to that. Okay, so first is Danya. I'm not going by who raised it first, but I'm just going by alphabetical order.
I'm sorry, I couldn't properly when you were explaining the function of the General Assembly. So can you explain it again?
Okay, so you are in the Council or General Assembly?
I'm in the General Assembly.
You're in the General Assembly. Okay, so the function of the General Assembly delegates, okay, is to review the resolution that comes to you from the councils. There are two councils, biodiversity and climate. So those two councils will send you a set of resolutions. In all, you'll receive some 12 resolutions from the Climate Council and 6 resolutions from the Biodiversity Council. So you'll quickly have a look at them and see if there is anything objectionable, and if you are more or less, because it has already been reviewed once from the committees to the councils. So you'll see if your country, as a country, if you can agree to them, and if you have some observations, still make them. It's not in the form of a dissent. For example, if you're not agreeing to it, you can still make a dissent and say that we are not agreeable to that particular so and so. For example, if you represent a developed country and then there is a clause saying that developed country should fund so much in a year to the developing countries, and you are not in agreement with that, or you want some changes in that, you can always put that forward. You may not be able to amend it, but you can put your observations down, and if you agree all of them clauses, you pass it on, you ratify it, you sign it off. Okay, maybe in your chat box saying that ratified by, if you are, say for example, representing France, ratified by France. Okay, you send that message. So if you are not willing to ratify that immediately, you can say that we will consider it, we'll come back to you, and then we'll conclude the session. Probably in the next session, which will be probably sometime next year, mid of next year, we will have these open issues resolved. Okay, but at least we will know at the end of the conference how many issues are not agreeable to everybody, how many issues have commonality or unanimity. So that is something that we want to understand and present those unanimous points to the world communities, like the UN Secretariat or the COP26 Secretariat. We are trying to reach them out and then present these as a white paper to them so that they may consider, and they may think, they may like to consider them. Okay? Does that answer your question for now?
So they don't have to discuss any of the topics you just mentioned?
No, you will discuss. But otherwise, how will you? See, when you say we have countries, right, in the councils also. For example, when France has objected to or changed something or has not objected to a funding clause, then, but still you are, say you are Canada, you have an objection, then you can ask your counterpart in your General Assembly from France, why, how do you justify that? So that General Assembly member representing the same country has to justify that stand taken by their own team members in the council and then convince you. So that's the discussion that will happen. Okay, so somebody asks you a question, why did your country propose this particular solution? Then probably you can say that this is because we want this to happen. So in that context, you may also have conversations with your team members. I mean, you can open a Google Meet and then aside separately, you can have a discussion, talk to them. Why did you propose this? Okay, you can have a parallel discussion. So they will give you some reasons behind that or justification, which you can articulate that in your discussions. So there will be discussion. In fact, we are encouraging that before the resolutions are taken up for discussion, you can one round, you'll go around the table. If all of you can give your opinion and say that this is what I feel should be done to address 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 issues of, and you don't have to address all committee or sorry, all topics because it's difficult. So each of you can pick up something which interests you and say that, okay, I want to talk to you on the climate technology, and this is what the countries should be doing to share their or to transfer their technology to the underdeveloped countries. So this is my view. So you can give your viewpoints in the first round, going around the table. Out of 3 hours, 30 minutes will be allocated to going around the table without going into the resolutions, and the rest of the 2.5 hours, you will actually go through each one of them. I mean, it will be on your screen, so you can go through and give your observations, and then you may choose to raise some issues or you may not choose to raise that. And at the end of 3 hours, you will just ratify it. I mean, whether you choose to ratify or whether you want to defer your ratification, that's up to you.
Sir, can I ask?
Oh, this is okay. France,
Yeah.
So, right?
Yeah, it was me asking earlier, but I have other query as well. Okay. So like in the resolution, will we have like what's the limits on the sponsors and the signatories?
There's no number. All have to be signatories. See, there are countries, right? So there are 18 countries. There should be 18 signatories. That's as simple as that.
So there will be like so each country should make their own resolution, like because usually in MUNs it's like all the countries making it together, otherwise different blocks making it.
No. I think I cleared that. There are no blocks. Okay, so you will get one resolution, okay, on a topic from the council. Okay, you are only reviewing that and seeing that. I mean, if you are in the General Assembly, you will get it from the council. If you are in the council, you will get it from the committee. So your job is to review that. If you want to suggest some changes, you may put that as observations and then give them a separate note of dissent that you are not agreeable to XYZ topics. So the voting in the council will take place clause-wise. Okay, every line item will have a voting. So you know which topics. So the General Assembly will understand which are the topics which are agreeable to everybody. Those clauses will be taken up instead of the entire resolution. Okay, we'll keep it simple. Yeah. Well, unmute.
Sir, I have a doubt. Sir, you said there are 2 delegations for each country, but there are 18 committees. 18 committees make 1 delegate from each country. Then the council have 2 delegates. In total, there are 4 delegates for each country, right?
In total, there are 6 delegates. See, even General Assembly has 2 delegates for that country. Council has 2 representatives for that country, and specific committee has also 2. So in all, there are 18 plus 2 plus 2, which is around 22 representatives for each country, but they are sitting in different committees.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So, I'm delegated to the General Assembly. So, only attend day 3 afternoon session, right?
Correct. That's correct. But you may have to keep a watch on what's happening on day 2. So we'll be circulating what has been discussed on day 1, I mean day 2 and day 3. You can also have a watch on that because it will save a lot of your time. You can do a lot of research on what has been proposed. Okay. For example, day 1, day 2, a committee has passed a resolution, which you can quickly look at that and then see if there are any points on your side. That will save your time in the actual session, right? So you will not be physically present in those meeting rooms, but you will get these documents circulated through mail, like you got your information last night, and then you can study them. Okay, that's the only action that is required from your side on day 2 and day 3 morning.
So, is it necessary I have to discuss with my other like the delegates of the same country? Example, I'm delegated to South Korea. So should I communicate with other delegates who are delegated to South Korea?
Makes sense, no? So at least you will not be able to know or meet them till the session starts. Okay. So only on that date, second day, you will know who are the committee members and who are South Korea member for a particular committee. Okay. So you can open a Google Meet small discussion for your own members because you all have email IDs and phone numbers shared with each other. We'll do that. And you can separately aside, you can discuss. It makes a lot of sense because when a resolution comes from a committee to the council to the General Assembly, you need to understand the background, the basis, the justification for each of those. Each of those clauses. Okay, it makes sense.
Okay, sir. So are there any moderated caucuses or GSLs?
No, there are no. So this is not, in that sense, this is not a typical India. As I said, these are basically group discussions. Okay, so there are no other formalities except for when you can raise an objection to the point of order or something like that. Because if somebody is making irrelevant points or going on and on, you're not giving you or disrupting the proceedings, you can always raise point of order. Or if there are some factual errors, you can still point them out. But the idea is not to actually to dispute and then gain score a point, but it is just to bring some kind of order to the whole discussions. Okay.
Okay, so this is the last doubt. So in General Assembly, I have to I have to make the decision valid by speaking about why I'm choosing this to make this decision valid.
Correct.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So could I ask my doubt?
Could I do that?
One by one. Okay, Pragati.
Yes, thank you so much. So here, my doubt is like basically the main job of the Climate or the Biodiversity Council is to check all the resolutions which were passed by the committees and then pass it to the General Assembly. Is that so?
That's correct, but you will not simply pass it on like a courier. You will go through them. If there are any observations, like as I said, irrelevant topics are not practical or too far-fetched, okay, something which is out of scope. So you can find out if there are something objectionable, you can raise that objection. But at the council level, you will be actually voting them, which means that out of say 36 delegates, 30 delegates pass it, it will go to the General Assembly. Okay. So anybody, yeah. So, but then you can, in the first half an hour, again, you'll give your stand and then why you are passing, why you are not passing, why you are happy, why you are not happy, why you are concurring, why you are not approving. That those opinions can be very briefly given to the rest of the committee, council, so that they understand where are you coming from. Okay?
So we would be emphasizing on all the 12 topics that were presented by you in the PPT, no, sir?
Correct. So you need to have a broad idea about that. So you might have to glance through all the resolutions and see something is glaringly objectionable. Okay, so you may not have to go into very minute details, something like grammar or what you call the wording, but there is something that can make some difference to the or improvement to the solution or resolution. Please, you need to articulate that in the session.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for explaining.
Can I ask my question now?
Yes, I agree.
Yes, sir. Sir, I've been assigned to both as a delegate in the General Assembly and in the Climate Committee. Is that possible? Or
no, that's not possible. That would be a mistake. If anybody else has faced the same problem, there could be some typos or a emailing error. So if you find yourself in two such sessions, please let us know. We will relieve you from one of them and you can be on the other one. Okay?
Yes, sir. I have been assigned to both the General Assembly and...
So please reply to the mail which you have received. Okay. Reply to the mail saying what is the issue. Then there will be a resolution to that. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, next, Disha, go.
Sir, while passing I'm a committee member. So resolution passed in committee, can it be individual or will we have a discussion on different countries?
Why do you get into this call if you are a committee? Committees are 6:30 onwards, no? Committee start at 6:30. The session for committees is from 6:30 onwards today.
Oh, okay. Sorry, sir. I got the link. So.
Okay. So join us after 10 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Okay, next, Audra, who wants to go? Yeah.
So actually, I've been assigned to the General Assembly, the delegate of Scotland. Sir, could you please provide a brief overview of what exactly will happen in the General Assembly?
Okay, so I think you have not been attentive. That's what I have been telling everybody else. But still, I will just repeat that for everybody's benefit. The General Assembly has a set of delegates, 36 of them, representing 18 countries, 2 representatives for each country. Okay, there is a president and vice president who basically coordinate the whole effect, whole thing. And then you get a resolution from each committee to the council, and the council will pass that and send it to you. So you will get 18 resolutions in all, 12 of them related to climate action and 6 of them related to biodiversity action. So you have to, both are, the resolution has been passed unanimously by the committee and then voted by the council. Your job is to quickly review that and see that you ratify that as a country representative, whether you are in agreement with that finally, and will you put your signature on that? It's not just voting. Will you put the signature on that resolution? Because the moment you put a signature, in the sense, I mean, I'm just talking about notionally, signature is nothing but saying that yes, in a chat box also will be equal to a signature. So ratifying it or approving that will make you responsible for, will make your country to implement that. So are you ready to implement that resolution on the points in the resolution? That is something that as a country you have to take a call and see that this is acceptable and we are putting our signature on that so that this will be binding on our country. So that's how the ratification means. And you don't have to ratify all points. You can just say that, okay, out of 12 points in the resolution number 1, I am agreeable to 5 points and the rest 7 points I have some reservations. I'll come back to you. You will not reject, or you will not what you call refuse, but you will say, okay, we will park it aside. We'll come back to you after consulting my country. But that will happen sometime in the future, in the sense that we will not take it further in this conference. If there is such an open-ended resolution which is not ratified by all countries, we'll take that up in the next conference and ensure that people come to a conclusion. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Actually, I had severe network issues, so that's why I wasn't able to hear when you were explaining that.
But now it is clear now? You heard it?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Good. Yeah,
Sir,
sir, one by one. Sukrita.
So can I speak, sir?
Yeah, please.
Sir, actually, I received 3 emails. In the first email, my topic was biodiversity and climate, but the country to represent was Switzerland. And another, little later, I received another email, which was my topic was about a health emergency, and my country to represent was Ghana. And a few minutes later, I received another email by telling that it was a typing error. My topic to represent is, my topic was carbon labeling. So what is what should I do?
Okay, so the second and third one are correct. Okay, when you have received one and then on top of it you said there is a typo error. So you should stick to that and please reply to that mail, the final mail or the first mail, whichever you want to, saying that I've been erroneously given two sessions and then we will put you only on one session, which is that the what you call? Carbon labeling. Okay.
Yes.
But so reply to that mail. Please reply to that mail.
My topic is about climate committee, sir. So it is about 6:30 now, sir.
Yeah. So why did you join now? Anyway, so I've answered your question. Please move on. So anybody who is from committees, don't ask questions now. Just hear or out. You may be in by mistake. Just listen to the question answers. We have to quickly move. Okay. So the next 3 more questions.
Sir, the respective countries and committees are yet to be allotted for me, sir.
Okay. So you have not received a mail?
No, sir, not yet.
So then how are you on this call?
I got it through my my friends, sir.
Okay. So you should not be getting in from your friends. If your teacher has sent, I can understand. Wait for another round of, we'll also send, we are sending some more mails today. Probably your name is included in that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. That's all. Can we conclude? Okay, so thank you
Sir,
very
I
much.
can have one.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I want to rectify this.
What rectify?
Yes, sir. So example, sir, I'm a General Assembly member. I can, like, example, if I have some work in the day, like in the day when the day 2 sessions happening, it's not compulsory for me to attend, right? Because I'm from General Assembly.
Yeah. So whenever is your session, it's compulsory for you to attend that session. Okay. Rest of the time, you keep a watch. I mean, you will get some mails. So go through them, and then whenever you have time, you can actually review them. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So for day 1 too, all the members have to attend everyone committees, councils, and the General Assembly.
Yeah, that's what I just said. So whenever is your session slated to be held, so you have to be present only on that day, those hours, without fail. And for the rest of the day 2 and day 3 sessions, you can just be available so that you keep getting emails and you know what's happening in those respective committees so that you can prepare yourself for the council. Okay. Okay, so we'll conclude this at 6:30. The other committees are.
Sir, I have one more doubt.
Yeah, so
sir,
1 minute.
Sir, I'm in the Biodiversity Council. So can you just clarify which all sessions I'll have to attend?
There's only one session, 10 to 3, 10 to 1 on the morning of Biodiversity, day 3, which is 23rd of December. As simple as that. Why do you get this kind of doubts?
Sir, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for being with me. Thanks a lot. You will all the best for you. If you have any still doubts, please reply to that mail mentioning your doubt. That will be answered. Okay, don't worry. We'll still be answered.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, take care. Bye bye.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.